Welcome to another episode of the show where we interview the storytellers, the hustlers, and the outcasts of the world. Today I did my hair at Salon, and we are interviewing my friend Donna, and we're learning about her business and how she made my hair look great. And I think you guys will like this episode. Alright guys, so this is my friend Donna Jose at the Salon and Day Spa. Hello. Thanks for joining us on the show. Thank you. You think you can handle this? Because I got a lot going on over here. But you probably have handled like worse in the past, right?
Yeah, I guess so, right?
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I am a beautician, not a magician, so I'll try my best.
Beautician, not a magician. Well, tell us a little bit about you, and then we're gonna go right into the haircut.
I've been doing hair since 2003. I've been in business since 2004, and it's just, this is it. I'm a mother of two, and I have a daughter who's gonna be in high school this summer.
Wow.
So.
And she looks so young still, right?
You know.
Oh.
Too much kimchi. It's like.
But yeah, we're gonna try to cut my hair, and then we'll have a little sit-down interview and we'll talk. So.
Sounds good.
So, take us from the beginning. After you make an appointment and whatnot, is this kind of the first thing that they do when they first come in?
Well, actually, I do a lot of colors. So usually with new clients, I like to have them text me over like their hair inspiration, their hair, a little hair history, at least up to 2 to 3 years. I like to know. And then most times that's where they kind of ask me, questions about budget, what are we looking at? The hair game has changed so much since 5 years. Now the look is more that natural, sun-kissed, lighter look. So yeah, it's not the conventional Friends Rachel kind of hair.
Friends
Rachel, haircut.
Do you get mostly women? How much men do you actually get?
I would say I have about.
You're the first one.
Yeah, since yesterday.
Yeah.
You're probably like, I have about 20% of them are males.
Oh, okay.
I would say majority are, a lot of times it's their husbands that come in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of your customers, would you say they're referrals or?
I go by referrals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, like I said, the internet, Instagram, that is huge now,
That changed up the game. When did you guys get on social media? Or start getting serious on social media?
I got serious on social media after I took a color class.
Okay.
And with the color class, it also included how to market yourself. And I realized that, we're in the day and age where social media is huge. Facebook, Instagram. And I think I want to say ever since I got my Instagram, I started posting a lot of my pictures. People are very visual. They want to see.
Now tell everyone where they can follow you on Instagram.
Donna at Salon. It's all spelled out. DONNAAT Salon.
That's really easy to remember. There's no 808 or there's no like zip code, right?
No.
By the way, I'm in heaven right now. So we didn't even get into the haircut yet. Yeah. This is just like the pre haircut stage, right?
Yep.
Gosh.
Yeah. I think this is like the most important, for especially haircuts, is this part. This is where our clients kind of feel a little bit more like, okay, so I think this is very important.
Come from the real deal, Kakala.
Look.
The real deal, Kakala.
I look like Erykah Badu right now. I work as a trainer, so just like you, we get our clients at different times of the day. They might come in all stressed out. They work for a long period of time and they're not thinking or whatnot. So you kind of have to get them into this state of relaxing, right?
Right.
So is that part of what you do with the shampoo and everything? Is that to kind of
Absolutely.
relax them?
Relax you and also have you kind of trust me. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So you get them to relax and just kind of get in the mood and whatnot, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Seduce them, you know?
So by the way, I got 3 hairstyles that I go through throughout the year. It's really simple. 1 is really short where I put everything forward.
Okay.
2, I do that fro hawk thing where it's like kind of goes up right around here.
Okay.
And then 3, it gets long enough to where it just kind of goes to the side.
Okay.
So it's really basic and plain. In the morning, I don't use brushes or anything. I literally like use my hands.
Okay.
I just go up like that. So business all around and party in the front. Is that how you describe it? See, that's one of my problems is I never know what to tell my hairstylist or my barber.
Well, you know what though? You know what's the best thing that people like to show me? It's Pinterest.
Oh,
That
okay,
is
okay.
like hands down the best. Yeah. And then also my work. So if they see something that's on my page,
Yeah.
then I know what I did and I know, you know, what I started with, and yeah.
So they come in with a picture and then you just kind of follow that.
Correct.
See, I originally was gonna come in with like a picture of Brad Pitt from Fight Club.
The real deal.
Yeah, but see, I knew I would get a reaction like that from you, so I decided, maybe not Brad Pitt from Fight Club, yeah?
I don't know, I'm too young, I don't know what that movie is. I like to kind of just communicate and ask my clients how they like it. A lot of them tell me they like it over the years. Some of them, you know, white wall is going extremely into the scalp and you're causing your scalp to be showing, which is causing like a white, you know, you see your scalp. So most people don't like that look. Giddy giddy.
Giddy giddy, I know giddy giddy,
You know what
right?
giddy
On the
is?
top, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
How many do you have?
I got one,
One.
because I heard 2 is like you're really
You're really
rascal, you're
naughty.
bad, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just a little naughty, not really that bad, so I got 1 giddy
Yeah.
giddy.
Cowlick.
Cowlick, okay.
Which is giddy giddy.
Okay.
Widow's Peak. That's another one that people are like, Widow's Peak.
What
which
is Widow's Peak?
Widow's Peak is what you have in the middle. Some people are a little bit more prominent.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Count Dracula.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I still kind of consider it kind of like a cowlick. But
Cowlick.
yeah.
Oh, okay. And what do you call this going on right here now?
This one right here.
Is that like alfalfa or
That's
like?
bangs.
I'm just. It's called bangs.
We
Okay,
call them
hello.
mental bangs. And
Mental
they're really
bangs.
short.
Oh, this is like Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah!
Now, first of all, what is your title? What would you like to be known? Is it hairstylist? Is it barber? What is the difference between the two?
You know, a barber is somebody who strictly does haircuts.
Okay.
A lot of times it's men's haircuts. A cosmetologist, it's like an umbrella. You're under your hairstylist, you're a barber, you're a nail tech, and also an aesthetic.
Okay.
No massage.
Yeah.
I'm a cosmetologist, so I can do everything.
Okay.
And actually, when I first started off, that kind of saved me because if I was slow in one area, I was busy in another. You know, so
you would take cosmetologist over hairstylist. Is cosmetologist more like well-rounded, like it
Correct.
explains more?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like an umbrella, and you have a whole bunch of stuff that you're able to do. It's definitely a longer process to do.
Yeah.
And more hours, but definitely worth it.
So here's a funny story, Donna, that goes to show you how important of a role you have and how a relationship with your cosmetologist or your hairstylist really plays a big role in your life. When I was about 10 or 11 years old, I had a barber at Sears in Ala Moana, like old school. This is like early 90s or whatever. Mm-hmm. And she cut my hair for like maybe 2 or 3 years or so, and I was only like 10 or 11 at the time. So we moved from town, and then when I got to about 30, 31 or 32, I was in my early 30s, I decided one day, like, I wonder what happened to Nikki from Sears. Mm-hmm. So I said, I was at the mall, and I was like, okay, I wonder if she's still there. I wonder if I just kind of stop by over there, if she's still working there or if she's retired. And 20-something years later, she was still in the same exact spot.
Really?
At the barber shop in Sears.
Wow.
So I made an appointment, and she took me in, and of course we were like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you since you were like 10 years old. I'm like 32, 33 at the time already.
Wow.
And we started talking about my grandpa. So my grandpa used to take me to cut my hair, and I was really close to my grandpa, and of course he passed away back in 95. And so we're talking about my grandpa. She's like, yeah, I remember I used to come in with your grandpa, and your grandpa was doing this. And then she started getting like teary-eyed.
Oh.
And then I was getting teary-eyed. I was like, Nikki, like, trying to keep it together, Nikki. You know, trying to cut my hair. And we just got really teary-eyed. And, you know, because there's a lot of good memories. And she was like, I'm sorry. You know, there's just a lot of good memories. I remember when you were young and your grandpa used to take you, whatever. So that's the kind of relationship you really build with someone that you see on a, you know, on a weekly or monthly basis.
Exactly.
How often does your average client see you? Every month or every couple weeks?
Some are every couple weeks.
Okay.
Some are every month. Like I said, I think it's because what I do. I'm a color specialist, so they usually come and spread it out. But yeah, definitely we're like your psychologists. We're like your therapists. You know, we cry together, we laugh together. You know, it's just and that's why
you definitely build a bond.
Oh, absolutely, and that's why I built the way that I built this salon. The new one is just like this. We call it like the gathering table. You know, everybody just sits down, talks story. But that's what I wanted to create in this environment. You know, because that's what we're gonna do. That's what women come here for. And sometimes I think women come here to talk story. It's not even to get their hair done. It's just to have someone listen to them, you know, and that's what we do. We're not just hairstylists, absolutely. But it goes deeper than that, more so for me. A lot of it has to do with, sadly, you know, birthing and, you know, being pregnant after trying for 10 years or something like that. That really, like, I feel like we're both crying, you know, but definitely the worst one for us is deaths. You know, I've experienced a few, and that was probably really hard because they're no longer going to see me anymore. You know, but there's lots of joy and lots of sadness, and there's lots of just. It's
like a roller coaster
ride.
It
really is, yeah. And especially being in the military community, you know, there was one where a few years when I first opened up the salon in Eva, somebody had reached out to me from the military club, and they asked if we could donate, you know, our facial. Or so I said, of course, we'll donate a whole day.
But how is this place when it's like rocking and it's 3-4 people working? Because at the most, how many people do you have working here at one time?
We have a lash girl, and then we have another hairstylist, and then myself. So there's just a few. It's a small space. That's why.
And is it like that movie, like Barbershop?
It is. It's funny. I mean, I even have a picture of like a Saturday. Every chair was taken, but it was when Aquaman came out, Jason Momoa.
Okay.
And I had like 50-year-olds in here. And they were all staring at his picture, and I was just like, oh Lord. So yeah, it's pretty funny. Everybody just sits around and talks story. It's so fun. It's really fun. Yeah.
There's some myths surrounding hair and things that you should do to take care of it and whatnot. One of them I heard is, because obviously I'm getting to that age where I'm in the upper 30s. I know I look like I'm 21. I know you guys are thinking that right now, but I'm not. Sorry to burst your bubble. I'm 38. No, am I 39? Oh, I'm 38. Jeez. See, when you forget about your age, that's when you know you're screwed. One of them is massaging the scalp. Now, I'm trying to grow hair.
Yes.
Because I see all my friends balding and whatnot.
Yeah.
Shout out to all my friends balding out there.
Increases the blood flow.
Okay.
But you know, using cooler water opens the cuticles, you know.
Okay.
Releases the hair, but.
So cooler water when you shampoo your hair and whatnot? Okay.
Yeah.
Try to stay away from really hot water?
Yes. That's super hot water.
That's why I'm losing all my hair.
Yeah.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
And how often do you recommend like massaging your scalp? Is it a daily process?
Every day that you're doing, you know, you're shampooing, you know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But the less you wash is actually better.
Okay.
Because it helps to keep the natural oils in your hair.
Would you say like twice a week shampoo or 3 times? What would you recommend?
At least 3 times. Yeah.
At least 3 times.
At least 3 times. For colors, a little bit less. You know? Yeah.
I'm currently at 1 to 2, so I gotta work on that one. Yeah.
You're a man. You should be showing more.
Yeah. Well, every Friday I try. I mean, once in a while, you know, I got a Monday free. I'll just jump in the shower for the heck of it. But you know.
Well, thanks for taking a shower today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I really did. I don't know if you can tell. I'm smelling like Dove soap right now. Is there 2 or 3 tips that you can give people as far as taking care of your hair and things that they should know on to maintain their?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Number 1 is whenever coloring your hair, be honest with your stylist. That's the number 1 thing. You know, we a good stylist will know when you're lying. So being honest, because the last thing you want to do is going lighter and then the bleach will pull out, you know, the color, and the next thing you know, it's all messed up. Tip number 2, when you're coloring your hair, try not to use more than like hot water, warm water. Use cooler water. The healthier your hair is, the longer your hair color will stay. So also using great products. It's key. And you know, I always tell my clients, you spend money for a color, for a good color. And if you were to use horrible shampoo and conditioner store-bought, it's like you know what I mean? It's just defeating the purpose of getting colored hair. So I always say you wouldn't wash a Ferrari with dish soap.
True.
So it's the same thing. Can I give another tip?
Yeah.
Trust your stylist.
Trust your stylist.
That's the best thing I can tell you. You know, especially for me, I'm the type of stylist that will be very, very honest. You know, and obviously they're coming to me because they've seen my work. So, you know, I'm not for everybody, but if you see my work, you like my work, and that's something that you're looking for. So always keep that in mind. You know what I mean? Your stylist that you're going to is going to know how you want your hair, right? So keep that in mind. I always say that.
Trust your stylist.
Trust your stylist.
I like that. I like that. As a kid, I thought I was one of the best at keeping their head still. So I would pride myself by keeping my head really still and not move at all. Have you ever had anyone move and then you accidentally like shave it or anything? Or
even if I did, I wouldn't tell you.
Oh shucks, we're screwed. Do you remember your first haircut?
I do.
And God, that must be nerve-wracking. I always think like there's 2 occupations: a dentist working on their first, you know, customer, and a hairstylist. So tell us a little bit about how your first haircut was. Were you nervous, or how did you feel?
It was terrible. I cut my fingers more than I cut the actual person's hair.
Oh. Was it a guy or a girl?
It was a guy.
And did it take you a longer time to do it? And they were trying to talk to you and everything, and you're probably like, don't talk, please, I'm gonna die.
Right.
You're gonna go bald, you don't know, you'll lose all your hair.
Exactly.
How did you get the name O Salon and Day Spa? Where does the O come from?
The O comes from my maiden last name, which is Ogawa.
Ogawa, okay. And when you started it, how was the process as far as like, were you nervous when you were about to start your own business or what? Because obviously in your field, you start off at a company first, right? Like a salon or a barbershop. And then when did you get the thoughts to start your own business? Was it scary? How did that happen?
Well, I knew I wanted to open up my own business, you know, being Korean, part Korean, you know, that was kind of in my blood already. But it all kind of started, I mean, the way that I opened up my business, it all happened very abruptly, and it was urgent that I needed to open up my own business.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I was nerve-wracking, of course, because the thought of failing is always in the back of your mind or in the front of your mind, you know. But yes, definitely. You know, I was 23 when I opened up my business.
Now she's 28. When I started my business, I was only like 25 or 26. So we started out pretty young, actually. But it's definitely a scary thing to start, because a lot of people will quit their full-time job, or, you know, they'll lessen their hours, and it's definitely a big jump for, you know, to go into that.
Right.
So we're almost done with my hair. How's it looking? So let's talk about the whole trusting of the stylist part, because I told Donna, she said, oh, shorter on the bangs? I was like, shorter, but, and then I started looking at it, I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna lose all my bangs, I better not. So trust your stylist. And she said, no, I don't think you better go short. I'm like, you know what, you're right, because I'm already losing hair as it is. And it looks like a little Brad Pitt Fight Club, right? I mean, a little bit.
Yeah,
sort
that's
of.
what you wanted, right?
Yeah, so don't I look like Brad Pitt from Fight Club?
You do not talk about Fight Club.
I always tell everybody, like, he had the greatest hair back then.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to sound like Metro or anything like that, but like Brad Pitt's hair in Fight Club, best hair ever. Like, I wish I had hair like Brad Pitt, but obviously I gotta, you know, settle for this. So spin me around. My cuts are always low maintenance, and you know, I wake up in the morning, I use my hands. I don't have any brush. So what's the next process after this?
That's it. You pay me.
Oh, good, awesome. I was waiting for this part.
No, it'll be 3,400.
3,000. That's just for the shampoo.
Right.
The haircut, that's an extra 2,000.
Yeah.
All right, so we just got through doing my hair, and what would you call this? A faux hawk?
A full hop.
What is the difference between faux and fro?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Do I have a Donald Trump hairstyle by now? I hope
No,
not.
a Donald Trump or Donald Trump?
Donald, because I had this for my
Donald
wedding and I hated it.
Looks good.
Okay,
You look
there you
good.
go. There you go. Sorry.
How's my hair?
It looks really good.
Looks
Who's your
good?
stylist?
You, and I trust you.
Okay.
Yeah, trust your stylist. You started your business how many years ago again?
It was back in 2003. It
Okay.
wasn't this business, but I was an independent stylist. So it's considered, having my own business. I was an independent contractor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, is this the second location for this business, or is this the first location?
So this is the second location in this area. So,
Okay.
but I don't have my first location. So I moved my salon.
Yeah,
And I was
yeah.
able to purchase this commercial space right here
Oh,
instead of
okay.
renting anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm my own boss.
It's a pretty nice place. I mean, it's not huge, but it's like kind of like what you were talking about. You have that room to like talk to each other.
Right.
Because that's what a lot of women come for, right?
Right.
See their stylist, talk story, catch up a little bit about their day or what's been going on, right?
Right.
So would you say this is kind of more like a small, intimate environment?
That's what we wanted to create, was someplace where females come here, males come here too, you know. And the whole sitting around a table and talking to each other, and it's been awesome. A lot of people love that concept, and it's something different,
Now let's talk about design.
Yes.
So when you guys first moved in here, how did you look at the design and everything? Were you picturing like, okay, this is where we're gonna talk, this is what we want to keep the distractions out? Was there any like exact way that you're looking at design wise?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to make sure that we had enough space for everybody, comfortable, and also sleek and chic, and have people come in here and like, wow, I really like this space, comfortable.
Yeah.
That's my whole thing. When you step into the salon, a smell. When you come in here, it doesn't smell like a typical salon. That was very important for me, and I want you to feel like you're at home when you're here. We do offer beverages, magazines, and you're part of the conversation. You're never left out here. People come in here and when they leave, they text me. They said, I've never had that much fun. It feels like a party in there.
Take us to the beginning. So when you started the business, were there any struggles or obstacles or roadblocks that you went through?
Absolutely. I mean, there's no true classes on business, and I did take some courses at KCC.
Yeah.
And but the one thing that I took from my marketing class was location, and that's what I learned. And luckily, I got the location part down, but everything else and taxes.
Oh gosh, let me get you started on that.
I know, and all that kind of stuff. Those are things that never get taught to you.
Yeah.
And that was a very important factor that I had to learn pretty late in having a business. And now I got it all on having a great accountant and having a great bookkeeper is very important.
Yeah.
So yes, I mean that's part of the struggle, but there's other things too, workers and starting up and making sure your bills are paid on time. I mean, those are all the struggles on the business side, but
What was the toughest period for the business that you had to go through?
I think the hardest part for me was kind of going through personal stuff, that was...
While still running the business.
business.
You still got to focus and whatnot while you're dealing with your life, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And that was really hard because, having people telling you that I won't make it as a female, and especially in my location, I got a lot of that. Yeah. And then going through a personal issue, I was going through a pretty sticky and a really bad divorce, and that was really hard. I think that was one of the loneliest times that anyone can experience in itself, even without running a business. But that was one of the worst struggles I've been through, and I still get choked up talking about it because that was the lowest of the low of where I was in my life, and I was just expressing that, it was...
Now, on top of that, you had your
my
kids too at the time,
my
right?
kids, right?
So you got kids and divorce, and you got the business to run.
Correct. And divorce takes you to a very, very dark place. And I put my business on the back burner, and that was a really, really hard decision to make. A business is not going to run by itself. Definitely not. And there were struggles. I didn't know how I was going to pay my bills. I mean, it came down to that, and a few embarrassing moments in that time. But what brought me back up was I was very, very fortunate. I was actually selected by my banker as an entrepreneur of the year under 30. And at that time, I didn't realize how big of an accomplishment that was.
Yeah, huge.
And I didn't appreciate it. But it was from that moment I didn't realize that I took off.
Yeah.
And it had given me everything that I worked for prior to that, and I wanted to work even harder after.
Yeah.
So,
Then came the comeback. So after you got through that, now was there a point where you said, okay, I got to get myself together? Like, this is happening, whatever. I know it's a struggle, divorce and everything. Where was the pivotal moment where you're like, okay, it's time for a comeback?
When I had met my husband at that time, he was a friend. I was depressed at home. It was hard. It was really hard. My kids needed me. I was their sole provider at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband now, but my friend then had told me, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna sink?
Yeah.
Or are you gonna float? And I said, what do you mean? He said, by you being depressed like this, it's not gonna get you anywhere.
Yeah.
You get to sleep for one more day, and that is it. You gotta get out. You have to
Time for a change. Time to
get
do
it
something.
together. And this is not who you are. And that was it. I mean, that was a moment where I'm like, I have to do what I have to do. So I started going to work. I mean, it's hard, it's hard when
you gotta put on a smile.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's not like you have an office job. You are kind of performing and you're in front of people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And people don't want to hear about my divorce. They don't want to hear while they're getting their hair colored that I'm going through it.
Exactly. Exactly.
So it was contained. I didn't have much support back then. And part of it was ego. I wanted to kind of do it all myself because I didn't want anybody to say, see, I told you, you're a mom, you can't run a business, and now you're a single mom, and you can't, you're not going to make it in life.
Now, part of the motivation has got to have been people telling you that you couldn't do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? I think for any entrepreneur, business owner, that's one thing that drives them is the naysayers and the negative people, and then you're just like, you know what? I'm going to prove all of you wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. And that was the moment, where I said, all right, it's time to get my act together. I got into this business because I wanted to succeed, and you're absolutely right. I'm gonna prove these people wrong.
Yeah.
And that's when I got started winning classes. I started really dipping into it and finding myself in this industry. Yeah. And it's just been amazing after that. I mean, I'm able to purchase a commercial space now.
Exactly, which is hard. As a business owner, you already got expenses as it is.
Yeah.
But to do something like this, that's tough. I've even looked into a studio for my personal training business. Mm-hmm. I mean, geez, I might as well just live there, because the rent is more than an apartment, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what it comes down to is, yes, I am a female, but that doesn't make me any less than anybody else. And I really do believe you work hard.
Yeah.
Put everything in it. And when times are hard, being an entrepreneur, you're never ever gonna ever have that flat line and that ups.
Where you just say, I've done everything,
exactly.
I can just relax right now, right?
And
There's no
we talked
vacation.
about it. We told you, every day it's like, okay, what's tomorrow? What's tomorrow gonna bring?
Yeah.
It's okay, bills are due, or my taxes are due. It's always something. But I wouldn't trade it for the world. Yeah. And what makes me happy is my daughters always tell me, I'm so proud of you, Mom.
Yeah.
And
Jeez.
and I do it for them.
Yeah.
I do it for my girls, and that's my biggest motivation is them. Yeah.
I came into this interview thinking, okay, I'm gonna do my hair, right?
Right.
And she runs a salon, we heard about the business, and then when we touched bases for a little bit before the interview.
Right.
And I was just like, wow, I was so blown away. Mm-hmm. And I'm just so proud of you, everything you've done. It's just amazing, because when you're another business owner and entrepreneur, we can understand each other.
Right, right.
And I went through that dark time where I went through depression, but still gotta put on a smile,
Right.
And for my job, I gotta like excite people and be like rah rah rah, right? And yours, exactly same thing. You have to put on a smile, and exactly what you say. You're right. Is our clients, no matter if we think they're our friends or family, we cannot air our dirty laundry. We cannot let them know all that stuff, you know. So, what would you say for single moms or maybe women that are starting out in the entrepreneur land or starting their own business? Any tips for them? What would you tell them?
Don't give up. Always write down everything and the reason why you're doing it, and always keep that. You know, I've always done that. I believe in that. You know, I believe in the secret. I told you that's my biggest thing.
Secret.
It's not voodoo. It's nothing like that. But your mind is so powerful.
It's a mindset.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. You know, there are days where I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I not getting paid hourly?
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
But there are way more joys. You know. But write your goals down. Squash them. Always continue making them. That's part of my motivation. You know, it could be simple things that, even like taking a trip. You know, my thing is every year I take a new class. Two new classes, but it gives me motivation. And then also trips, you know, or even simple things of, you know, I want to buy myself something nice. I want to buy myself good shoes that I wanted, you know, something. It's going to continue to motivate you to do even more.
You gotta keep that fire going.
Absolutely. You know, but that's part of being a successful, you know, person, is to continue to have goals and just keep squashing them. Just keep going. Never stop.
Wow. Is there anything in the future, any goals for your business that, you know, maybe you might want to do later on, or anything that you're looking at right now, or you're just trying to get through one day at a time?
You know, I promised my husband no more businesses, because we actually have another business and we don't have that business anymore. But I do have a few things up my sleeve, and I'm kind of excited. But you know, being a business-minded person, I have to really see the pros and cons of opening. But nothing to do with salons per se yet. But I mean, there are certain things I want to smash out of the goal, but I'm gonna give my husband a little bit of a break this year, and have him finish his things that he wants to do this year. So nothing yet.
Again, I'm proud of you, everything you've accomplished.
Thank you.
And I hope this can inspire other moms out there, other single moms, or even entrepreneurs, whether you're a male or female, to start your own business and know that you're going to go through your struggles and everything, but if you just hang in there and you just keep working hard at it, eventually you'll get out of that hole or whatever you're in.
And having a good partner.
Yes.
Life partner. I think that's very, very important. I really do believe in that.
A support system, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you for being on the show. I really appreciate your time and whatnot, and thank you for this do that I got going on here. And best of luck with everything.
Thank you.
And we'll definitely see each other again sometime soon,
absolutely.
Right?
Exciting.
All right. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you on the next episode.
Bye.